sky's very pretty today, isn't it?
Phew, it's finally finished. Want to share this together?
Looks tasty. It even tastes delicious too.
I know, right? I love the sweetness of the chocolates.
Huh? What? Oh.
Attention everyone, your challenge will begin soon. Head over to Hotel's Garden.
Right, a competition. Hopefully the challenge is a simple one.
Hello guys, today's video is going to be a bit different because this time I want to share with you the story of how my object show came to life. It was around June 20th of 2023. I had become fixated on researching this little show's real-life events, and especially the ones affiliated with Animax, a Japanese animation satellite network dedicated to broadcasting anime. It had its fair share of various feeds across several countries from the east to the west, and of course, there were websites dedicated to them. With the feeling of wanting to give the challenges a gimmick to make them extra special, a light bulb popped to my head, and the day after, what if the contestants got the invitations through website and TV advertisements? Just after I had typed in how this idea came to be, a friend of mine suggested that I make the host, who would have control of the panel for the time being, until the winner wins it, a female. I gladly accepted it, and thus, Throat Lozenge was born. Female hosts are already very rare to find in object shows, so this makes the object show a bit more unique. Now, while we were still thinking about the concept of this object show, I was already planning out half of the contestants at the time. Most of which were OCs that I had made beforehand, and the rest were contestants specifically made for it. For example, Orgonite and Melons to the Float were originally characters I drew a couple months before this idea, while others like Shamrock and Trackball were new characters I made for the show. I figured it would be more fun and interesting if there wasn't a Clover character who's so happy and silly all the time, but instead of subversion of that. A Shamrock character who's more grumpy than anything. Once that cast was complete on July 7th of 2023, I then came up with a name, Midnight Hotel Gameshow. Eventually, I made a crew on an Audition server to hire people to work on the show. I was able to find voice actors fairly quickly, since there were only a few background characters and some people I had already known were willing to audition for it. The same applies for storyboarding, writing, and music composing. For the design choice, I figured it would be better if I was the only designer in the show, as it would give a more cohesive art style direction. Color theory and shape language can make a character design more special alone, and I was already in love with the characters I had designed for my show. As you can imagine, I made the locations kinda like the modern world, but with a more futuristic edge to it. I'm a big fan of old visual aesthetics such as the UTK futurism, and for that I wanted to put some of that into the show. At first, I wasn't sure on what the art style would be, but in the end I decided to go for a hand-drawn art style since it would complement the show's comedic tone more and stand out much more strongly than using a rigged art style like the BFDI limbs. Art style optimization is crucial to have in an object show, as you have to figure out what art style will work best for your show's plot. It gives the show its own identity, so to speak. As for the animation, I made it animatics frame by frame as that would be more time saving than tweeting everything out. Episode 1 began production at the near end of August and the script was finished on the 26th of the month. And while that was happening, I decided to switch the show's tone from semi-serious to comedic. My various interests such as Sergeant Frog and Bobobo was what prompted me to make this change. And eventually, I got fixated on Power Stone and murder drones. So, I decided to solve some of that inspiration into some of my characters. So, if you're asking about episode 2 and why it is so drastically different from episode 1, then there's your little answer, buddy. But don't worry, because I will keep lore into the show. Now, in order to hype the show a bit, we decided that we still wanted to tease the show a bit, but we didn't want to fully reveal its title yet. Telebrush was the concept I had in mind. An art competition show with various supplies used throughout the episodes, basically. I wanted to give it an older game show vibe, but since I didn't want to animate it, I decided to make it a paper cutout show. Basically think of something like the original Paper Puppets, but in lower quality. I later on released the intro, and that was about it for the time being. The audio editing was done in like 1 month. I had set up a deadline for myself to finish it within February, which I did. Animation, on the other hand, was the larger task to do. I only had a few animators on my team, and I had to do a lot of the scenes, like 90% of them. Of course, it was exhausting. So, in order to make things faster, I decided to not only set up deadlines for myself, but to also do both the animation and the scene finalizing all at the same time. I have to say, it was honestly a smart move for me to do, as it allowed me to fix some of the effects and implement some artistic directions into the show. I saw what Object the Fourth was doing with its animation, I liked it, and I decided to pull off something similar in my show. With the help of Metabang, PowerPoint, and Clip Studio Paint, I was able to accomplish some crazy looking shots into the episode, and it did make production a bit faster, so thank you Object the Fourth. Just as the episode was getting closer to being finished after over a year, I was thinking it would be more ethical to put a release date around when production was ending. At first, I was hoping that the episode would be finished at least before the end of 2024, but there were still some scenes that needed the necessary time to be finished. So, I instead pushed it to finish it sometime by winter of next year. I had to double up from doing around 1 to 3 scenes to only 3 to 4, so you can tell where I had to lock in. The script was so old enough that I had already developed better writing skills by then, and my art style was changing a bit during production, so you can tell some inconsistencies to be found even in my scenes. It was time to start posting more teasers. The first one was an audio recording of a sign-up message from Canned Cherries. I had VirtualBox sitting around, and I threw in a Windows Media Player visualizer through Windows XP. I later on made a preview consisting of several clips from the episode, which was basically something similar to next time previews from various anime. The model for Throat Lozenge was made in, believe me, Paint 3D, and the ending credits were animated in a different art style. Something very similar to Cyborg Kurchan's first ending theme basically, and thus, with those out of the way, the only thing left to do was to edit and wait. On March 15th of 2025, my dream was officially completed. I had officially released a full-length episode, Contestants Show Me What You Got. The views and the reception were far more than I had anticipated. I'm grateful that you guys like the show, its concept and its characters, and I will of course be making more in the future. Thank you for all the feedback on the episode, as it allows me to improve in the future. And so, that was the story of how Midnight Hotel Gameshow was created and the development of the first episode. If you made it this far into the video, here's some content art I drew for the show during 2022 to 2024. Until next time, bye!